Sup YouTube, Constant Gamer here, and today we are playing The Monster Inside. As it says, it's an audio-visual novella. I just kind of seen this on Steam, and from what I remember, it looks sort of interesting. So we're just gonna run it, you know. It's kind of got that 1940s, detective movie kind of vibe, and I was like, that's cool. I like that. Hey, could you stop? There's like a rabbit over there, and she likes picking up her bowl and throwing it. My head... Wait, let me get detective voice. My head pounded. Ears still ringing slightly. Some of the worst nightmares I've had in years left me feeling like I've been punched in the jaw. But just like any other day, I dragged myself to the office. There was another notice on the door from Mayor Vanetti's office. Permits out of date. And they didn't like me much and were trying to drown me in paperwork. It was a slow month. Weeks since I had any real case to work on. So I passed the time pacing the office, smoking and staring at the mirror in the corner, safely covered with an old bed sheet. I don't dare look at my own reflection. I'm too afraid of what I might see. Afraid someday I might have to face what I really am. That girl came in so... The girl came in so quiet I nearly choked on my cigarette.
Mister, please. You gotta help me, mister.
Gotta give her that, like, Brooklyn-y accent.
Oh, mister.
You ever hear of knocking first?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude.
She's country now. It's alright. Sit down and tell me your tale. She eyed me with a dash of suspicion as I tossed back a handful of pills and chased them with a swig of whiskey. I could tell this might take a while. This is the most detective-y shit. Her name was Lily. She told me she was his mistress, the man all over the newspapers, the infamous banker, Mr. Reginald Farnsworth. Mr. Farnsworth was a drunk, philandering bastard, but this girl seemed genuinely concerned that he had recently gone missing. Less concerned about the fact that Mr. Farnsworth's wife had just turned up dead in Central Park 2 nights ago.
Don't you understand? He couldn't have done it. He hated his wife, but he couldn't have killed her. Everyone thinks him and everyone thinks it was him and no one believes me. He's gotta be in trouble.
I don't know what accent this girl has anymore. I ain't saying I believe you, but what makes you think he's in danger?
Well, mister,
Jack. You can call me Jack.
Jack, whoever did this to his wife must have been the one who took him. He would never have left without me. He promised me.
I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth promised this girl a lot of things.
Please, the cops won't listen to me and they want to bring him in on charges. You gotta prove it wasn't him before they find him.
Honestly, I doubt they're in too much of a hurry. Farnsworth practically had the entire police force in his deep pockets. Probably why they hadn't found much yet. If they found him and brought him in, it would be due to public pressure. Sometimes a mob with pitchforks is more dangerous than any one man with money. You've got my curiosity, but you might not like what I find.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Jack. Thank you, but please, be careful. I don't think this was just any murderer or kidnapper. I think it was a beast.
Beast. The word struck me funny. like when you jar your elbow on a hard corner. Not a word many use these days, except in hushed whispers and bedtime stories for children. Oh, they were real enough, all right, but they just got better at hiding, controlling their unseemly urges. But I hadn't seen any monsters in nearly 15 years, back when I was still a cop myself. Leave the detective work to me. Let's not jump to conclusions here.
I just have a feeling about it. Something tells me you can get to the bottom of it. You're good at this sort of thing.
Sure. Can't you see how busy I am with these cases? I replied a little too harshly. Sarcasm wasn't my strong suit. I reassured her some more and sent her on her way. I didn't want to scare her, but I warned her before she left to keep her doors locked and call me if she saw anything suspicious. I didn't know if she was in any danger herself, but better safe than sorry. That night, I made my way down to Central Park. It was a long shot, but maybe there was something there the cops had missed. The scene was already picked clean by the cops days ago, but I got a knack for finding the things that others overlook. A knack, more of a symptom of a condition. Other, less useful symptoms I keep in check. But for the time being, my keen sense of smell would come in handy. Am I a werewolf? Is that the bit? Is that the bit? Am I like a werewolf? And did I kill this guy and not even know it? Is that what we're going to? I have a feeling that's the end of this game. It was faint, but I could smell it before I even approached the police line. The scent was less of a thing and more of an emotion. What the fuck does that mean? Seduction. A strangely familiar smell. Oh, I bet it is. I expected the scent of trepidation or maybe even outright fear, but Mrs. Farnsworth seemed to have been at the height of pleasure when she left this world. I respect it. Brought a whole new meaning to crime of passion. Pushing the thought from my mind, it was time to get down to business. Investigate the scene. Alright, we'll start with the scene itself. Muddy footprints everywhere. Difficult to pick out anything from the prints the cops left behind in their haste. But the cops don't wear $2,000 pairs of Karinkos. Or Carquinos. It looked like Mr. Farnsworth was there that night and walked away on his own 2 feet. Okay, got a scratch over here. Oh, that's a burn mark? It looks like a scratch. A burn mark on the nearby tree caught my eye. I ran my finger along its length and felt a chill down my spine. Boring! This wasn't just any burn mark. This was the mark of an ancient magic. It's doubtful the cops would have picked up on it. Could Lily have been right? Something unnatural was at play here. But I was no stranger to the strange. Oh, I thought there was going to be more to look at. After looking around a while longer, I realized the park had given up all it was hiding from me, so I trudged my way back to my apartment, and my head hit my pillow like it owed me money. The next morning, I was reeling from another bout of ghoulish nightmares, but I tried to hide my discomfort when I saw Lily was already sitting there outside my office. She waited wordlessly. As I unlocked the door and ripped down another notice from the mayor's office, I motioned for her to step inside. Seemingly afraid of what I might say, she finally worked up the courage to ask.
So, what did you find?
Well, I've got some good news. Farnsworth might be alive. I probably shouldn't have given her false hope like that, but she seemed like she needed something to hold on to right then. She didn't need to know about the mark on the tree.
How do you know that? Where is he?
Found his footprints. Seems like he got out safely. Or I would say the slipped away one. I feel like that one would have been better. My tone was indifferent towards her as I turned and grabbed a bottle from my desk drawer. A dryness in my throat made it difficult to swallow my meds.
But you don't know where he went? Do you think the news this morning is related?
What news is that?
Haven't you heard?
Nope. A rough night followed by a rough morning.
They found the police chief's wife dead down by the docks. They say it happened last night.
Let me guess. Chief Amato is missing too. My face might have betrayed a hint of satisfaction as she confirmed my suspicions, but it faded quickly. Amato was a shit cop and a shit chief. He was half the reason I left the force. But now his wife was dead and I had more questions than I did the day before. The gears in my head started to spin, which wasn't helped by the splitting pain in my temples. I told Lily I needed more time to work, and she left slightly dejected, wanting more answers than I could provide. It's like 3 in the morning, by the way, guys, if you're wondering why I keep yawning. The night after the cops had cleared out the docks, I would slip down by and see what I could uncover with Miss Amato's untimely demise. Did she die horny too, like the other one? The cold air smelled strongly of salt and oil, and... could it be? That smell again, like someone had bottled pure arousal and used it as perfume. Are these chicks just getting fucked to death? Is that what I'm hearing? Like, what? It hit me like a long-forgotten memory, but the sensual fumes soon gave way to a rush of adrenaline. I knew exactly what the scent reminded me of, and that scared me more than not knowing. I looked down at my hands, shaking, the nightmares, the headaches. No, I was better now, reformed. What kind of person was I? I had to focus. No jumping to conclusions. Follow the evidence. I do have a feeling I'm behind this somehow. There, just there. The smallest piece of purple fabric, torn and caught in the splinter of a board. The police report didn't say anything about Miss Amato wearing purple, and it was certainly of a quality that you wouldn't expect down here. Don't see too many high society types around flaunting royal purple threads. Red Phoenix cigarettes. Same shitty brand I smoke every day. Everyone's got their vice. I pulled out my own pack of Reds and lit up. I could already feel another headache coming on, but looking out over the waves seemed to help me forget. The cold helped me push down the uncomfortable thoughts that had been bubbling at the top of my brain. I have a feeling I did something. Something's happening here. I honestly don't remember the walk back to the office. Apparently I spent the night in my easy chair, and the air from the docks lingered on my clothes. It was still dark out. No, I checked the clock. How long had I been out? Had I really slept through the entire day? The entire next day? A newspaper was sitting under the door. Yeah. Wish I could stop fucking yawning. As I stood to fetch it, I nearly fell over. A wave of nausea hit me like a ton of bricks. I steadied myself and regained my composure. Before I even picked up the paper, I could already read the headline. Breaking. Mayor missing. Wife found dead. 2 cases is a coincidence. 3 is a pattern. The cops would come asking questions soon. They knew I had a history of antagonizing all of the victims. I stumbled to my desk and slammed back 3 days' worth of inhibitor pills. I couldn't take any chances, so I had to investigate the scene to be sure. I threw on my jacket and went to the door. Lily caught me off guard on the other side.
Jack, where are you off to? I've been trying to reach you all day.
I've just been busy. I'm off to Mrs. Vanetti's crime scene.
Okay, but we need to talk when you get back. Stay safe.
She gave me a soft kiss on the cheek as I rushed off. Part of me wanted to stay and tell her it would be okay. But it would be a lie. This is just a book. I'm just reading. The alley was located just behind the high-rise apartments where Mr. Vanetti and his wife lived. I could tell the police were spooked now. The crime scene was even sloppier than the last. They hadn't even bothered to submit the trash into evidence. Okay, well first, the trash, yeah. Why wouldn't they at least look through the dumpster? It seemed untouched. No one wants to do the dirty work. But I know how to find the good stuff. It really doesn't take long if you know what to look for. Lightweight bags usually mean someone was dumping documents. If you were lucky, they didn't bother to shred them. Jackpot. Shell companies. Shady stock trades. Bribes. I knew Mayor Vanetti was crooked, but this was unbelievable. And there was more. Letters between Mayor Vanetti and Chief Amato, talking about me. How they were trying to get me shut down. They didn't like me snooping around the crime scenes all the time. Well, they weren't here to stop me snooping around this one. And then I seen the car was the thing. Vanetti's car. If he's still alive, why wouldn't he have left it in his car? It didn't make any sense. I honestly wasn't too motivated to find him, but the stakes were too high, and my bet was edging towards it. As I searched around for anything that might assuage my fears, I caught the scent again. It overwhelmed my other senses with undulating pleasure. It was intoxicating. A weapon used on the weak-willed. A weapon I knew all too well, though it had been many years since I had used it. Was there another like me? Was I being framed? Yeah, him saying, is there another like me? 100% I'm some kind of fucking werewolf or something. Like, I have to be. And also, I hope this video is interesting to you guys, because I've had literally no time to put in any, like, sort of commentary whatsoever, because it's just reading a detective book. That's all I'm doing. There's, like, no commentary to have. It's just reading. It's like an audiobook. I was taking my inhibitors. I was reformed. But the nightmares, the headaches, the memory lapses. I couldn't even trust myself. I started walking back out of the alley when I noticed something shiny caught my eye. A watch. Not just any watch, though. If the next line is my watch, you guys owe me a subscribe. You know what to do. How long had my wrist been bare? Surely I just dropped it when I first came down the alley. I checked the time just before I left the office, hadn't I? Or had I used the wall clock? I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be sure of anything. So I ran. I don't know why I ran back to the office. The cops would probably show up any minute to knock the door down and cart me away. They would have put it together before long. Maybe it would be best for everyone if I simply faced my own reflection. Oh, he's a vampire. Not a werewolf, because think about it. Like, because vampires are associated with magic, which he said it was an ancient magic on the tree. The fact that that the women were at the height of pleasure because of seduction, like, it's known in a lot of things that vampires have seductive powers. He literally labeled it a weapon. It's like, he's a vampire. That's why he won't look at his reflection, because there is none. Oh, dude, that's crazy. Not really, but... face my own reflection. Yeah. But Lily was standing there, or Lily was still there waiting for me.
Jack, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
My own ghost came back to haunt me from the past.
You're not making any sense, Jack. Come sit down.
You don't understand. You're not safe around me. I took a good last look at her as I prepared to shove her out the door. I noticed she was wearing the same thing she had when she first came to my office 3 days ago. A beautiful purple dress. Odd that I hadn't really noticed it before, but it made her seem out of place, out of time. And it was frayed around the edges, torn in places. My chair caught my fall as my knees failed me. It was you. You're the monster. Succubus.
Oh, Jack. We are one and the same, you and I. We are both monsters. I'm simply more honest with myself. There's no such thing as reformation. Those pills you take only make you dull.
Oh, so I'm taking anti-Viagra? That's crazy.
Beasts like us should never suppress our true natures as you have, Incubus.
Oh shit, I'm just a dude succubus, so I'm not a vampire or a werewolf. Man, I jumped to the generic conclusions. So I kinda guessed it, but not really. I knew I was a beast of some form.
Those men were probably dead now.
Oh wait, that's mine. Those men were probably dead now too. Or dead too now, I figured. She probably took them to her lair and harvested their seed. Humped them. So, you've done all this just to wake me up?
You could say that, though it seemed enough just to have you doubt yourself. You believed you were still capable of such horrors, which means deep down you probably are. You can't escape it. Now I need you to complete the deed.
You took my watch, messed with my head.
Oh, don't act like I didn't do you a favor. Those men hated you and wanted you gone, and now they're gone.
I mustered the strength to stand again, moving casually to the window by the corner. She was right about one thing. I was dull, weak, compared to her. If I refused her, she'd attack me as a dead man. I had to keep her talking. I never met a succubus who seduces and kills women.
Oh, please, such a 14th century stereotype. I don't discriminate when it comes to pleasures of the flesh. But I do still need an incubus like yourself to take the tainted seed I've harvested from this awful man and plant it among the fertile masses for me. I'm tired of training my lovers just to survive. I'm ready to settle down and start a family.
That's how I imagine she laughs. I positioned myself carefully, making sure she was looking in my direction. Sorry, but I'm not your guy. With a quick flick of my wrist, I whipped the old bedsheet off the corner mirror. Lily was blinded by her own reflection and sucked into the mirror with a painful, monstrous scream. Trapped. Shielding my own eyes, I pulled the revolver from my desk side drawer and aimed it at the mirror. And fired. That's one way to do it, I guess. Trap her ass, and that was it. No, like, clarity at the end, like some shit where it was like, yeah, I'm an incubus, but I'm a hell of a good detective. Like, nothing generic like that. Also, the fact that their game company is called Random Seed Games, and this was about a succubus, that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. But also, that was a short one. That was good. I liked the story. I didn't like that there was no gameplay, though. Like, basically no gameplay. I mean, it is a visual novella, so, you know, it's a visual novel. So, you know, I kind of expected not a lot of gameplay, but, you know, at the same time, I expected a little bit. But yeah, that was a good story. I mean, I kind of sort of somewhat guessed what it was. Not exactly, but I had like the right sort of realm. So a tad bit predictable when you think about it that way. But other than that, yeah, that was super good. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, with that, I guess I'm going to end this video here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.